Thank you. Still watching the SABC's Prime News. So we move to neighboring Zimbabwe, where former Vice President under President Robert Mugabe, Joice Mujuru, was attacked during a campaign rally in Harare this afternoon. The leader of one of the opposition parties, the National People's Party, was treated for injuries, but some of her Youth League supporters were seriously injured and are still receiving medical attention. For more on this story, we're now joined on the line by our correspondent in Zimbabwe, Effort Musekiwa. Thanks very much for joining us, Effort. Tell us about what led to these injuries. What was happening?
We understand that during the afternoon, when she was just leaving one of the rallies that she has held in one of the high-density suburbs in Harare, she was meeting with vendors and carpenters in some suburb called Glenview. That's when according to the claims by the Secretary General of the National People's Party, about 5 minibuses full of ZANU-PF supporters approached them and started singing denigratory songs and started throwing stones at Mujuru and her delegation. And she, during the process, she was injured in the arm. She has gone for X-rays, but right now she's been released. She's now at home. But indeed, she was attacked during that campaign run.
So people listening to this story would say that this was something that was synonymous with the previous president, Robert Mugabe. How can it be happening now when President Mnangagwa seems to be working overtime to try and change the image of the country as well as his party?
In fact, Peter, for the past 2 months that President Mnangagwa has been in power, he's been calling for, he's been announcing that Zimbabwe will have a free, credible and fair election and that there will be no violence. It really took everybody by surprise, the events of what transpired today. And the party, the Mujuru's party, is now calling for international observers to be deployed in the country because they are saying that it doesn't help that they come 2 months before. The intimidation will have already happened. The intimidation would have already taken place. So they are now calling for the international community that includes SADC and the AU that they need to deploy their observers onto the ground right now. They are saying that as we speak, President Mnangagwa has already indicated that the elections will be in less than 5 months. So there is no need for the international community to come in and observe the processes right from the voter registration to the nominations and everything else that is associated with the elections. So really, we are still all surprised by what happened today. We are actually waiting for government to respond. We are waiting for the police to actually give us a response, since the party has claimed that they have made a police report, and they are also waiting on the actions what the police will do in light of what has transpired today.
Effort, if we look in the past, do we know who used to deploy these ZANU-PF youths to do what they're doing? And can that give us a clue as to who might have sent them this time, or could they be working on their own?
Surprisingly, I threw the same question at the Secretary General of the National People's Party, who actually blamed President Emerson Mnangagwa, who blamed the Vice President, former General Chiwenga, saying that even in their days when they were still in ZANU-PF, it was Chiwenga, it was Mnangagwa then as Vice President, who were actually spearheading all these violent attacks. They were deploying the army to go in and intimidate people in the rural areas. They were the ones that were sending the youth to go and beat up people. So you're saying there's very same people that were the machinery that was used by ZANU-PF to instigate violence on people is still intact, and they are the same people that who at the end of the day, did they around send send people to be to attack any opposition. So they are saying nothing really has changed. It's only Mugabe who was removed, but the system is still in place. So they expect that it will be violent as the days progress.
All right, we've run out of time, but perhaps one final question. Have you been able to speak to my Joice Mujuru or get a comment from her, or has she said anything about the attack?
Unfortunately, we have not been able to see her, but we do understand that tomorrow she is holding another rally in Harare, in a suburb called Ziara. Hopefully, tomorrow we'll be able to get a comment from her as to what transpired today. But we have been trying all day to get out of her, but we were not able to solve it.
All right, thanks, Effort Msekiwe, who's our correspondent in Harare in Zimbabwe. And Francis, that's a disturbing development that Zanu PF youths are behaving as they did in the time of President Robert Mugabe, where opposition parties were periodically and often set upon by these youths, and they'd beat them up and intimidate them. And given what President Mnangagwa was trying to do at Davos and around the African Union, this isn't something that is probably going to confuse quite a lot of people on the ground as what's happening.
Unacceptable.